Hey guys, and welcome to the Hobby News. Alright, so this week we've got some interesting little developments. We've got some Tau news, which is great, and a little bit for Horus Heresy as well, so that's pretty cool. But first up, we've got the Tau. So it looks like they're going to get their book redone, I guess, somewhere in the new year, which is what they're talking about. But they've got a little preview here of one of their models, so that's pretty good. So let's take a look. So the greatest covert operator in the Tau Empire is stepping in from the shadows. Okay, so did you wonder who the mysterious silhouetted figure was in our Kill Team article on the Tau Empire? It was none other than Sub-Commander El Miyamoto, better known as Darkstrider. Check out the new miniature in all his unshrouded glory. Okay, so yeah, pretty cool. It's really cool to see Tau get some love, you know, and yeah, I think this is really fun. Like, we had the Kill Team stuff, which looked really good, and now I've got this. So I can remember when Tau were first released. I was working for the company back then here in Australia, and yeah, I loved them then. You know, they weren't really received too well, I don't think, by the community. I mean, at that stage, it was kind of seen as, like, you know, I guess the more cynical view that they were just cashing in on the anime thing and so on, which, you know, probably was correct a little bit, you know. But then again, they've always tried to include the different types of, I guess, aesthetics that we have around the world. Like at that time at Warhammer Fantasy, you had, you know, the old world had influences of Germanic and English and French, and then you had you know, Cathay, which was you know, Asian cultures and so on, Chinese and Japanese and so on. So they've always included all those sorts of things, and when Tau were made, they were, I guess, just following suit and designing something that would fit that type of thing, and so we got the Tau, and I wasn't upset. I really enjoyed them. I remember, I think that was like the time when one of the first times we saw rules for an army where they got to do like a janky little movement. So I remember the battle suits being able to move again, or do like because they could pop out of cover and then shoot, and then you could move them again. And I don't remember that ever being in the game before. They sort of, maybe Eldar had something similar, but they were the first faction to kind of start to play around with some rules and do a few, you know, unique things within the list. And I thought that was really fun. And so I had a great time with them. I love painting them up. But yeah, I would really love to do it again, like, you know, to collect these guys. But, you know, they really do need to nail down how they're going to work in the modern game, because not yet, but in a few weeks I will have done a video on my thoughts on Maggotkin of Nurgle in AOS, and I talk about the fact that armies that have, I guess, a conception which is very focused to one type of thing, very narrow focused kind of lore or that sort of thing, like Tau does, or like Nurgle does, you know, where they're only meant to do, you know, Nurgle are slow, that sort of thing, or in this case Tau, you know, can only do like the shooting. And so those types of armies really suffer generally, because they don't get to play in all the phases of the game. You know, they're always struggling in some phase. These ones don't do psychic, you know, and their combat is ineffective. So you've only got that. Luckily, they've got movement. If they didn't have movement, this army would be dead in the water, right? It would never work. So at least they've got that. But they still struggle if they put too much into the shooting. They become overpowered, and then they've got to nerf them, and then they go back to the bottom of the heap. You know, it's very hard to balance something like this. But I hope they find a way to include, you know, I've noticed when I came back into the hobby, you know, that they didn't really utilize the Kroot very much. They haven't utilized the fact that Tau, you know, incorporate other races. You know, it would be it'd be easy to give them psychers, to give them combat units, but just in other alien races that come with them, you know. And yes, you could balance those out, make sure they're not too elite or not too, you know, overpowered, but it give them that option, because then they can play in all phases of the game. And it doesn't destroy their lore, it doesn't destroy the way they function. It actually, you know, enriches that lore, because that's part of what the Tau Empire is. They assimilate other cultures and other alien races into their collective, and that's part of their lore. So hopefully we see that in a new book. They actually start, like, being brave enough to actually release some other alien races for them so that they can actually play. That'd be amazing. Imagine a different alien race that does psychic powers, that they can use, or a great release some Kroot, that are better in combat and all that kind of thing. That'd be awesome, right? So yeah, hopefully they do something like that with Tau and don't just leave them with the they're a gun line and that's all, because that's a real shame, because they could be a lot more than that. But anyway, that's a side note from like a very, very old Tau player. Hopefully that doesn't bore you too much. I know that Tau don't get much love these days, but anyway, so yeah, this is a great model, right? It's got a nice little sense of in the moment kind of pose. You can imagine him hiding down behind this bit of wall here and releasing his little drones, similar to what you would see in Aliens or in Star Wars or any of those major IPs where you have this type of little drones flying around, all that stuff. It's evocative, right? And that's a great thing. So, that's what Tau are. They're evoking all of that type of sci-fi. So, really cool. I really like it. And the color choices here, I like a little bit of that magenta coming in. It's great, right? I don't think this is going to be wowing anyone particularly in terms of overall, but definitely is a lovely little character piece. Even just the paint is going to be a lot of fun for Tau players, so that's great. Let's take a look and see some of the close-ups. So even you got the little whatever this is, his little Dragon Ball Z, counter there on the side, and it's all good. I love it. I used to love the Pathfinders and everything. That was all really fun, and hopefully it all comes good. But he's got some nice little abilities here. I'll let you look at that. It's not much point in really reviewing this just yet because we don't really know what the overall balances are. But I might do a first impressions on it because I really do love Tau. But we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out in the new year. But yeah, it looks great, right? With little Pathfinders there and all that. It's cool. I just hope they get more. I hope that we see this kind of thing here, this imagery, this dynamic battle suit and so on, doing all these dynamic things. I hope that actually comes to Tau and they get to play like that. That would be really amazing. But anyway, that's just a side note. So yeah, let's move on to Heresy, see what they've got to offer. So they revealed with their Black Library books, they revealed these two models. So and one which I think is pretty unique because I'm pretty sure that faction doesn't have anything or very little anyway, so that would be the Blood Angels, so that's really interesting. So let's come down and take a look. So we've got this Imperial Fist first up, which is great. I've talked a lot about this, but I'm really loving the new aesthetic they're going for. It seems as though more true scale sculpts, cleaner, and just the presentation overall, the paint jobs and so on, I think are way more in line with the rest of their range, and I think it's just more pleasing to look at. I can see all the details more clearly, and that's a good thing, right? I think that's a better way to go, and yeah, it definitely appeals more. I can see everything here, and I can see the possibilities for conversion. I can see whether I really want this. I can see how everything joins together because the paint job is way cleaner and way more tight. So that's a really great thing. So kudos to the painters and the sculptors for making this a much more, I guess, higher end product overall, right? Just hopefully, if this is Forge World, then hopefully the resins are okay. But from this look, it looks good, right? So, and I love all the addition of these little details. That it's hard to differentiate Imperial Fists from, let's say, Ultramarines and that sort of thing because they sort of share a lot of similar concepts and so on. But we are seeing a difference. We've got some nice little separate pieces like the shape of this shield and the just little things on this, even the shape in here and some of these wreaths which don't feel like Ultramarine or like a standard Space Marine. Even the little tassels under here don't quite feel like an Ultramarine one. There's just little details that stand out on this that help separate it out. Even these little greaves here with the venting here and so on. It feels very much like a more sturdy sort of defensive kind of armor that Imperial Fists are there defending the wall, right? That's the idea. So they've got that. He's got the shield on the back, which is great. Let's see if we see a detail of it. Yeah, awesome. So that's really cool. And they've even got like a strap for the helmet, it looks like, which is really interesting. I think they've ever done that before. That's really unique. and a secondary sword, probably like that would be, I guess, his ceremonial sword, would it be? Anyone that knows Imperial Fist lore will be able to probably tell me what that is, but I would imagine something ceremonial. Yeah, really fun, right? I like this. I like the tower shield. I like everything about it. It's great. I like the double vents on the backpack. Yeah, just a nice sculpt. I think that's really cool. Very old English gentleman sort of sculpt on the face, but that's cool. That's cool. That can be Imperial Fist. So yeah, but now the really interesting one is they've released a Blood Angel character, and this is cool. So I'm sure Blood Angel players are happy to see something for their faction, and I like a lot of the details. The way it's mounted on this rock is a little bit weird, but it could just be the photo. But I like a lot of the details on this. I think I would reposition this a little bit and change it. I don't think I'd have it like this, but I do like a lot of the elements that are going on this model. That's kind of interesting. So we've got a cool face here, which is really nice, and I love Beaky Boy helmets. So the Womble helm is my favorite. So that's cool. It's a nice choice, and I love all the studded shoulder pads and so on. I think it's just this leg or this bionic here. I would probably change that. But I do like a lot of what's going on here. I like the backpack especially is really interesting. They don't really show a close-up of that, but that's unfortunate. But, if we come back here, yeah, that's got some nice, interesting elements going on here that I think you could incorporate into a little conversion. You could just chop that leg off, put another one of these sort of legs on, or at least shift it over or do a different style bionic leg for him. I think this is kind of looks like a sandal or like a thong, flip-flops. If you're in another country, that might be what you call them. But here in Australia, we call them thongs. And that's kind of like a, what do they call those? Crocs, like a Croc sandal or something. That's kind of looks like what he's got on. But apart from that little element there, the rest of him is pretty cool. And the angle of that lean, I think, is a little bit odd. I think it should be slightly more upright just because it feels like he's not actually flying. It just looks like he's tipping over because it's very hard. You'd need a cape or something to help show movement. He needed some sort of bit of fabric hanging off him just to give that sense of that whoosh, like the way he's swooping down, because you can't really tell because there's no indication of wind or of just the general movement of the model, so it's a bit difficult. You sort of see it at least a little bit here in the hair, but even then it's very difficult to see. He needed something to help show movement, but apart from that, yeah, it's a nice figure, and I'm sure Blood Angel players will find ways to use this for sure. So let's see if we have any other information here. Yeah, so it looks like maybe February then, could be when they're being released. We'll wait and see. It's going to be, I think, probably a little while. I'd say Games Workshop still are seeing some issues with their, with logistics and so on. So, we'll see what happens, but hopefully they're releasing soon. That'd be really nice. Yeah, I really enjoy seeing this Horus Heresy stuff. It's a great nostalgic look back, right? If anyone's old enough to have been around for those early days of 40K and so on, a lot of this armor and a lot of the history and the story here is really cool and reminds me of those times for sure. I can remember being a little kid, 8 years old, going into a model shop before Games Workshop stores were in Australia, and seeing those little Beaky Boy Marines on the shelf, and little dioramas in the windows of the shop, and just sort of imagining all the story and all the things that go behind those models, and it's amazing now just to see how far it's come and be here, as a much older man, and seeing it all still going strong and all this kind of imagery still being produced. It's pretty amazing, really, and it is a great hobby. At the end of the day, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please hit that like button, subscribe button. It really helps me out, and I guess I'll catch you on the next one.